Now, this is a topic we all been waiting for. Black dads with mixed kids. Let's talk about it. Hi, Exotical Barbies. I would definitely make a video later on about, besides black dads with mixed kids, I'm also going to make about white moms with mixed kids and black moms with mixed kids. And if you have a story time about how, if you have an Asian mother or like a Latino dad and whatnot with these experiences, please let me know and email me. Let's get started. So, I remember how when I was talking about this, I realized I never actually made a video about black men when they have mixed kids, or how black men seek exoticals or women that would get them into spaces. What I mean is this: we already seen it, especially here in 2025, how men want to get with the exotical woman. Either it's a beautiful white woman, not the average, what's going to say it, and also too, like, a beautiful light-skinned woman, whatnot, and stuff like that. We've seen in real time how a lot of men, black men, do this, especially once they probably have a black, monoracially, unambiguous black woman before, and then they divorce her when they should get famous, and then get with a mixed woman or light-skinned woman. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm not going to talk about who they dating. Actually, I will bring up some of it, but it won't be to the point where it's going to be the main focus of the conversation. One thing I noticed about how black dads, when they treat their mixed kids, is that they try to raise them, how should I say it? I would definitely say there's two sides. One side is that they try to I'm trying to find the words for it. So let's say your mom is Latina, right? And your dad is black, right? He's going to try to make sure that, because I actually seen dads and heard dads say this way, where they want to be like, oh, I want a light-skinned kid, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, I wish it's educated enough that many children, they get their pigmentation from their dad. So I don't know why in the world they. Anyways, let me continue. Anyways, so I heard dads when they say, "Oh, I want a light skinned baby," and whatnot, even though, and then after that, they try to, they get more pride if their child has, how should I say, a 3 type hair. You know what I'm saying? They more so treat their children who are mixed race better, and also to try to raise them as, how should I say it? It's almost like they live in, this is the right words. They try to live through their fantasy of having mixed kids and being an exotical woman and produce exotical children, their fantasies, actively. That's correct way to use those words. And I've seen in real time how sometimes they mistreat their own children that's not, how should I say, like they're monoracially black or whatever, and they push on to the side and have focus on us. The reason I say that is because I've seen it happen to me. I've seen it happen to my cousins and them, you know what I'm saying? And I'm actually going to give you a story time on basically to sum up how black men treat their mixed kids. So for a starting point, it's going to be a story time about my relative. Let's call her A. No, let's actually give her a name. I'm over here saying like A, B, and C. Let's call her Lucy. And let's call the dad Javon. And let's call the mom Kelly. So Lucy, wait, what did I call the girl? Anyways, let's call the daughter Lucy. Let's call my relative Lucy. Lucy, Kelly the mom, and Javon the dad, I guess. So me and Lucy are mixed race, but because her mom is white and her dad is he's mixed race, but he's black passing, and that makes sense. So he's black. He goes by as black. I'm sorry, I don't want to seem like I'm just hitting out. Yeah, anyways, so he did not have kids. He had one kid earlier in a relationship before he got with Kelly. It was with a unambiguous black woman. Let's call her Sabrina. Sabrina's pretty cool and whatnot. Fun fact, Kelly and Sabrina used to be friends. Yeah, they're no longer friends. Yeah. So basically, let me get the background of the relationship, because it's kind of similar to what I said earlier about how they leave the relationship for exotical and whatnot. And but he's not a good man. My relative is not a good man. So to put it this way, Sabrina, she and him, they was together, they play with each other, bam, there's a baby. And basically Sabrina and Kelly used to be friends, and Sabrina and Kelly knew that about Kelly knew about Sabrina's baby daddy drama, all this, that, and the other. And then when Sabrina broke up with Javon got with Kelly. It's a whole big mess. And Sabrina had 2 other kids from another man. He's an unambiguous black man. So she has 2 girls that's unambiguous, monoracially black woman. And Javon had, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he had 3 kids with Kelly. Okay, and so of course your kids are mixed race. Okay, so to continue on, Kelly is a narcissistic woman. Now, and she's a white woman, so I'm not saying to add on to the fire and whatnot, but I already said earlier how I'm going to make a video about this one. But anyways, so she did not really pay attention to Lucy when growing up. Like, she low-key was like not really paying attention to her. Like, she was not there in the picture. The reason I say that is because me and Lucy hang out all the time, especially when we was younger. Like, we hang out all the time. And so then, with that being said, Javon, he liked the idea that he's having mixed race children, because that when he's like, oh, you guys have that good hair, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of brag about like how he wanted to continue his legacy of having these kids with Kelly. Kelly, they got married, by the way, but only because she got pregnant. Also too, with that being said, his my side, my other side of the family, they do not like white people, even though they part white. I don't even know how this works, but I guess which is so weird. But and when I say that is that they like to, and don't please don't being like, oh yeah, well, us black people, we went through things with white people and whatnot. It's not the case with this scenario. What I mean by this, they like to reproduce with white people while also dogging white people. So you, of course, can see how Lucy feel about the complex of who she is, because she's like, why do you not like white people? Why do you always allow my mom to be mistreated? Because remember, I grew up in a black supremacy cult where, so of course, once my family member married Kelly, of course she's going to get all the smoke, right? So that made it worse for Lucy. And the reason I brought the girls up, Sabrina's daughters, so let's call Sabrina's daughters A and B. I'm just gonna make it simple because I'm kind of forgetting these names here. So Lucy already have a complex. She's having a hard time identifying with herself because I just said earlier about being part white and stuff like that, and also too with she's very beautiful. When she was younger, she was so beautiful. She's still beautiful now, but now it's just kind of crazy, but I will tell you why later on. But to continue the story without going all over the place, to give you guys context. So this is kind of what happened. So when me and Lucy, when we talk about our, like what part of ourselves, because we already knew more about our African American side, you know, me and Lucy, you know, but we also trying to learn more about our other sides, you know, like I was trying to learn about my Cherokee side. I was trying to learn about, more about like, cause like what they do and stuff like that, because I already knew like some things we do. I was trying to like take part in like activities and stuff, and me and her was trying to do that, but her dad would like low-key shut that down and be like, oh, you just black, by the way, one night. Like he really didn't care. He liked to, how should I say it, proudly acknowledge that how his it was so weird how he fetishized how we use his special little doll, that makes sense, and how he treated us with favoritism more than A and B. And you're probably like, okay, but he doesn't have to treat A and B like his daughters and whatnot. And that is true. But because they was always around with us, and the mother allowed the children, those A and B, to be around their around Javon, they saw him as a father figure. So they saw how the favoritism he's shown towards me and Lucy. Like when me and Lucy would be like, oh my gosh, can we go do this, can we do that, he'd be like, yeah, sure. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, well, you know, this would go well, your hair type, things like that, you know, kind of like those things. But with A and B, they got the crumbs, which is really unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Which is really unfortunate. By the way, when all this is happening, me and Lucy, we were like 6 to like 9 years old. A and B is like at this time like in high school, like 16, 17-ish, you know? And well, 14 and 17, I would say 14 and 17. And I remember it got so bad. Now, I don't hang out with A and B that much. I mean, I do, but not as much as Lucy. I remember behavioral patterns begin to change because you know how, especially, you know, if you're light-skinned, mixed race, or if you had any been from any instance as a child or any ethnicities, you know when you get the favoritism and whatnot, the hate you get from other kids, and the bullying. So what I'm trying to say is I noticed behavior changes with Lucy, because I'm like, Lucy, why you have bruises on your arm and whatnot? And she's like, oh no, it's okay and whatnot. Or I'd be like, Lucy, you're very fidgety. Like, you know, like I was a kid, I was like, because I didn't know any signs of someone getting bullied and stuff like that, you know. So I was like, man, this is a little weird. And so how she used to be very rebellious. I'm like, I don't know where she's getting this from and whatnot. And then I began to realize that how what's it call it, A and B was mistreating Lucy. Like she was mistreating her a lot, and I didn't see that because I don't live with them one night, you know. And until I come around with them, because you know how you come around your relatives, is like, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so I noticed that like when they walk around her, she's talking to her, she like fidgets, or she doesn't make eye contact, she gets sad, she gets scared like real quick or whatever. And I remember one time that showed it. And by the way, her dad Javon and her mom Kelly literally did not care. And I'm going to give you more stories as to why they didn't care and whatnot. But I remember one time we sat at our grandparents' house, and we was upstairs, we was playing one night, and it got really aggressive. Like it went to 0 to 100. If you know anything about bullying and whatnot, you can see how you know how being victims, they try to like fit in, you know, like, yeah, let's have fun and whatnot, even though they really don't, and then it gets sideways real quick. That's what happened to Lucy, because I remember how they took that opportunity to, like, we was all playing, tickling, we was all running around the house and whatever, and then all of a sudden I saw how they was throwing hands at this girl. Mind you, 14 and 17-year-old girls doing this to this 6-year-old girl. I was 9 because I'm like a little older than her, but I think it was 7 or 9. Anyways, I was 15 to age. She was definitely like younger, and I was like, what in the world? And it's like, oh no, we should just laughing, we just joking. When I say no, you guys not, you guys need to stop. And I remember when I was trying to stop, one of them pushed me off to the side, and one of them dragged her by her hair into a room, closed the door, and I heard screaming and crying. And I remember I was screaming and crying for her. It was very traumatic. And then with that being said, and I remember how I was like, I told her, I said, hey, this is not okay. You need to talk to your mom and dad. How come you're not talking to them about it one night? She's like, oh, I don't know. And the reason I understand why she didn't as a kid now and not, because I remember it literally, what I just described to you happened in their house while the parents is there, and the mom, she didn't care. She didn't say anything. So that's the reason. So even though, with that being said, with black men, when they want kids to mix kids and whatnot, they really won't stand up for their kids or advocate for their kids or teach their kids anything. You know what I'm saying? They either A, don't want them to be associated with part of their culture and what they are, or B, they do, but they strictly want them, how should I say, they strictly want the mixed kids to not be mixed kids, if that makes sense. It's no different from how I said in how mothers are abusive towards their exotical daughters, you know what I'm saying? Except for this way, because, you know, a lot of dads are not in the picture, a lot of them neglecting, whatnot. This happened too many times. And then on top of that, I feel so bad for Lucy, and they made her as well try to how should I say it, trying to make her feel like she needs to earn herself, like, what's that call it, what's that word that black people do to mix skin and light skin? You had to prove your weight. Yeah, you had to prove that you are black and whatnot, which was really disgusting. You know, it was disgusting trying to make them feel like she had to say the N word. It was just so disgusting. And also too, along with seeing how Lucy saw her mom being disrespected from like the black supremacy cult we was in, yeah, that it was so much on her mind and whatnot. It was actually pretty sad. And yeah, I hope this kind of answers to how with black men, when they have exotical kids, like, they want to produce exotical kids, but they don't actually care about you as an exotical. Does that make sense? Like, they fetishize. Yeah, I should have just said that. Black men fetish. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the title of my video. I don't know why I went all around the world just to say that. But anyways, yeah, this happens a lot, at least from where I came from, even outside the cult. When I seen this too many times, even now, where I remember I was told where they be like some, oh, like, because I was told this at when I was a teenager, like, oh my gosh, you're so light skinned, you're mixed with something. You know what? Me and you need to make mixed babies. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. That was from a black guy, by the way. I got told so many things from black men because they fetishize exotical women a lot. And don't get me wrong, other races does it well, but right now I'm doing categories when I'm talking about black men specifically and how they act in a circumstance where, at least from what I have seen, how they won't stand up for their family, how they won't, how should I say it, how they mistreat others. You know how they have favoritism, like how they did to A and B. You know what I'm saying? It's so much to pack from here, but I hope I packed it well. Please let me know, if you're mixing light skin, have you had this treatment from your black father? Have you seen it carry out with siblings where it's literally jealous again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? or his other kids from the other marriage and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Let me know, because I feel as though it's not really talked well about. I mean, it's talked about, but it's not talked about from another point of view from another side, which is us mixed kids. You know what I'm saying? And also too, along with that being said, because I think I'm gonna add this last point, I'm sorry, is that if black, that they really don't care about you as existence one night, because if they did, they would not put you in a predicament. And this is with all men, but I'm talking about black men, but specifically with exoticals, where you're going to be targeted. For example, if they know your family does not, if their family do not like light skins, mixed people, mixed women, or white women, whatnot, and they quote unquote love you, they will not put you in a predicament where you're going to be targeted all the time, or they're going to not put you in a predicament where your children are going to be picked on all the time. Anyways, I hope this all makes sense, and let me know, have you experienced this? Talk about it in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. Love you.